Another close game between the Jays and Yankees, but for the third straight day, the Yankees prevail 4-3 as they walk off the Blue Jays at Yankee Stadium. And there's a couple question marks in that ball game, like why was Ken Giles not out there for the ninth inning? He hasn't pitched all series long. You see, the only thing I can think of is Charlie's waiting to get into a safe situation. But we all saw what happened to Buck Showalter there in the wild card game against the Blue Jays. They put in Ubaldo Jimenez, and the game's over, and you don't even get to see Zach Britton. Same thing happens today. They throw out Nick Kingham, and he gives up the game-winning single to Gleyber Torres, and the ball game is over, and Ken Giles is there sitting in the bullpen. That's it. So you run into those question marks. Now, let's back it up, though, to the beginning of the ball game, where the Jays got humming early on against James Paxton again. Very first inning. He has a tough time finding the strike zone. Kevin Biggio leading off. Eric Sogard with the day off. And Biggio walks on a full count to lead off the ball game. Then Vladimir Guerrero Jr. walks on a full count. There's 2 on and nobody out for the hottest Blue Jay, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. And he absolutely plasters a pitch from James Paxton deep to left center. And it's gone. A 3-run shot. The Jays got a 3-0 lead early. It's awesome. You go to the top of the second inning. Brandon Drury gets a single. Next up, Danny Jansen. He crushes one off the facing of the second deck. 2-run shot for Danny Jansen. What a day he had. And the Jays got a 5-0 lead. And Trent Thornton has been amazing for this team lately. So he's dealing right now. He struggles mightily, though, in this ball game. After that two extra runs the Jays got to make it a 5-0 game, we go to the bottom half of the second. We talk about it a lot. You score runs, you want to put up a 0 the next half inning. Well, after the Jays had that 2-run shot by Danny Jansen, the next half inning, Gregorius hits a solo shot. Then Aaron Judge with the bases loaded hits a 2-run single, and just like that, those 2 runs are gone. It's a 5-3 ball game. He ends up getting out of the inning, but then we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Then with Torres on, he gives up a 2-run shot, and just like that, we're tied. Trent Thornton had a really rough outing there today, guys. He really did. 3 1/3, 7 hits, 5 runs, struck out 4, and walked 2. Look, when you throw 41 pitches in the second inning, I don't care how many runs they score on you, 41 in an inning when it's hot as heck out there, it's tough. And he only went 3 1/3, like I said, 7 hits and 5 runs. And again, his location just was not what it was in his last couple starts. Now, it's still a 5-5 ball game here. This ain't over. Long way to go here. And then we go to the top of the 5th inning, the next half after they tie it. Lourdes Gurriel Jr. at the plate, and he hits a high booming drive to left center, more or less center, but in the left center gap, and it just clears the wall into the bullpen. His second home run of the ball game, and the Jays got a 6-5 lead. Now, up until that point, he was 2 for 2. Make it 3 for 3 for Lourdes Gurriel Jr. What a day he put together. The Jays back out in front. It's 6-5. Problem, next half inning. They give up a sacrifice fly, and we're tied yet again. You go to the next inning. Was it the bottom of the 6th inning? And who was out there for the 5th? I think it was Gavilio. I think it was Sam Gavilio who was out there to give up the sacrifice fly to Aaron Hicks. And Joe Biagini came in and gave up an RBI single to Luke Voit. And that inning, I think there was 2 out and nobody on. It leads to an RBI single from Luke Voit, and they take a 7-6 lead. But we go to the top of the 9th inning. And good things happen when the Jays get the job done. They bring in Zach Britton. Why? Because Roldis Chapman's been used the last 2 nights. And Zach Britton gives up a leadoff single to Danny Jansen. 3 for 3 on the day, and a walk for Danny Jansen. What a day for him. He has mightily needed that. And then Billy McKinney comes in to pinch run for him. Then a pass ball to Gary Sanchez. McKinney moves up to second. We have a runner at second and nobody out here, people. Next up, Kevin Biggio. He singles to the left side. His 3rd hit of the game. McKinney comes in to score. The Jays have tied it at 7. Oh, and we're feeling good. And we've got it first and nobody out. Great stuff there. Then Vladimir Guerrero, Then Vladimir Guerrero Jr. hits the ball to second base. Looks like it's going to be a double play. Oh, they scrub the throw to second. Gregorius comes off the base. We have runners at first and second now. Nobody out. The go-ahead run is in scoring position with nobody out. We've talked about it over and over. You get that one opportunity to seal the deal, to knock them down. And the Jays did not do that. They did not do that. Then next up, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., the hottest guy out there. He grounds into a double play. However, there's still a runner at third with 2 out for Grichuk, and he grounds out to end the inning. Now here come the whole fiasco of bringing in Nick Kingham over Ken Giles. Giles was warming up. I think it was in the 8th inning. When the Jays were at bat there. But they bring in Kingham. I'm not too sure why. I'm really not sure. And, he gets Edwin to pop out to start the inning. We're like, great. Then Gregorius hits a little nubber, and he save it first. And then Aaron Hicks then walks. Then Gleyber Torres walks it off. So we can argue and say, well, Giles should have been out there. Yeah, but if Kingham got the job done, then, then it goes to the top of the 10th inning. Let the Jays score a run and then bring out Giles for the bottom of the 10th and win the ball game. Totally different conversation. But because, and it's not the wild card game. If it was, you'd throw your damn best guy out there. But in a game like this, I mean, look, would I have thrown Ken Giles out there? Yeah, probably. But the fact that if you did score a run, you still need to get rid of that bottom half of the inning, I understand why he kind of kept Ken Giles on the bench or in the bullpen. But again, it's a really risky move, and it's a really, roll the dice type of move. And it didn't roll well for Charlie Montoyo and the Toronto Blue Jays. That's the way it is, guys. The Jays lost all 3 games this series by a total of 4 runs. They are 2-4 on the road trip. The combined number of runs lost by in all 4 losses, 5. You got walked off in the first game against Boston. You won the next 2. You lost the first game in this series 10-8. There's 2 runs. That makes that 3. Then you lost both the last 2 games by 1. You lost 4-3 yesterday, and then you got walked off today. So yeah, as much as we can talk about the Blue Jays struggling, and they've lost 3 straight, and they're 2-4 on the road trip, against Boston and the Yankees, you have a combined total of loss by 5 runs. I will take that. The reason I say that is because this team, it's not about wins and losses. Anybody who sits in that category of looking at wins and losses for the Toronto Blue Jays, you're probably pulling your flipping hair out. Because you're seeing 29-52 and going, oh my God, this is bad. And it is. But knowing what this team is supposed to be this year, knowing the expectations or lack thereof for this season, you got to have a mindset of, look, you got to take the positives out of losses. So what are the positives in today's game? Well, let's go to the bullpen first because that's the least of the positives. Tim Mays has a clean inning, good job there, and Daniel Hudson continues to pitch at an all-star category. Now, he's not going to be in the all-star game, but he's pitched great. ERA of 2.86. He gives a 1 hit in his 1 inning, but strikes out 2. He was awesome. Now, with the bats is where things get real fun. Kevin Biggio at the top of the lineup. I talked about it in the last video. I don't know if I said Bo Bichette or Biggio at the top of the line. I think I said Biggio. It happens today, and he goes 3 for 4 with a run scored and a walk and an RBI. So his batting average before the game today was 221. After the game, 244. On base percentage before the ball game was 352. 373 after the ball game. Biggio is really doing amazing. He has done an amazing job in this series. He has done an amazing job since he's been called up, really. I've really been impressed with this guy. And the fact that, you look at the strikeouts to walk ratio. Did he strike out today? I think he struck out once, didn't he? Did he K once? Yeah, one time today. But for Kevin Biggio, you look at him, he's got 31 strikeouts and 19 walks. That's a really good number. I mean, look, we can talk about it and say, well, the strikeouts, 31 strikeouts in 28 games, it's a little bit higher than you want. Yeah, I get that. But Biggio's going to give you a damn good at bat. He's going to walk his fair share. He can hit the ball a long way. He can hit the ball. He can hit for average, clearly. So yeah, he's going to strike out sometimes. But clearly, the whole strikeout numbers they're kind of skewed, right? If you have a whole team of strikeout machines, like the Blue Jays usually are, it's tough. But you look at a guy like Aaron Judge. Let me go to Aaron Judge right now. Did he strike out today? He struck out twice today, right? And this season, with the 2 strikeouts today, he's only played 25 games, obviously, but 32 strikeouts in 25 games. Look at his strikeout numbers over the last couple of years. Do you hear anybody talking about that? No, they talk about how he's an amazing player. Because he hits for high average, and he hits a lot of home runs, and yeah, he strikes out a little bit, but that's okay. You know what I mean? So for Aaron Judge, I look at it, and I'm like, look, Biggio's strikeout numbers I don't really look at because you see the at-bats he gives you. You see the grinded out at-bats. He reminds me of an Eric Sogar. And I'm loving what he's doing. I love what he's doing. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. got struggled once again today. 0 for 4 in the ball game with a run scored and a walk. We thought yesterday was kind of a coming out party. Not a great game for him today. But again, he's the youngest. We all talk about, well, Vladdy's the big hitting prospect, and Biggio's the one hitting better, and Gurriel's hitting amazing. Yeah, but Gurriel's 25, Biggio's 24, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr., we keep forgetting this. The kid is 20 years old. Not a lot of 20-year-olds are up here in the big leagues right now. And if they are, they're not doing too well. Now you get the odd freak of nature here and there that are doing amazing things. But Vladdy, guys, I mean, how are we going to say this guy's no good after only 51 games? Over the next 9 games, what if he hits 400 and that batting average gets up to 270 or 280? We're not even talking about this anymore. So guys, just let the kid go about his thing. 20-year-old kid, let him go about it, all right? And Lourdes Gurriel Jr., what a day he had. 3 for 5, 4 RBIs, 2 home runs, couple of runs scored. He's in 304 now on the year. Oh, this kid is doing something else. He is an amazing player. Great in the outfield. Got a heck of a bat. There's a special talent here in Lourdes Gurriel. I can't wait to watch him continue to develop. Grichuk 1 for 4, Tellez 1 for 4, Galvis 1 for 4, Drury 1 for 4, and Danny Jansen, like I said earlier, 3 for 3 with a couple RBIs on the home run and a run scored and a walk. Batting average jumped 14 points to 184. Again, it was 170 going into the game. Now, can Danny Jansen have this kind of go into the next game? Right, we've seen this a few times here from Danny, having a 2 for 3 ball game with a couple RBIs, and then a 2 for 4 game, and we're like, great, that's nice. And then he goes 0 for 8 the rest of the way. So it's great. I'm really happy he went 3 for 3 today with the walk. Got on base all 4 times. But now you want to see it more consistently. I'm not saying 3 for 3 every damn day. I'm saying 3 for 3, then like a 1 for 3, even a 1 for 4, and then a 2 for 4. Keep getting hits. And for Danny Jansen, he's still so young. He's still developing, and that's just it for the Toronto Blue Jays. Now, they open up. They have a day off tomorrow before they come home, take on a 3-game set against the Kansas City Royals. All right, and look, Kansas City is like Baltimore and us. Not very good. All right, their record today, 28-53. I think they're losing right now, aren't they? Or are they even playing right now? Or did they lose? They lost 5-3, so that record's already updated. They're 28-53. They're not a great ball team either. So any Jays fans looking at, hey, look, I know we can't look towards next draft, but if you're looking towards top prospects, stuff like that, you want the best chance, right? Exactly. I mean, they're only 1-win difference. So I'm not saying I want the Jays to lose a series because I want this team to win as many as possible. But if anybody is in that mindset, there you go. All right, the 3-game set. So Danny Duffy is going in game 1 there on Friday night, 7:07 at Rogers Center. Game 2 is Homer Bailey, the old man, against Marcus Stroman now for the Blue Jays. And then in the finale, it is going to be Brad Keller and Aaron Sanchez. That is a pitching matchup there this weekend against the Kansas City Royals. Now, before we hit, actually, we're not even going to hit the prospects because we did last night and none of the teams have played yet. We got to go to a couple of teams here. First off to the New Hampshire Fisher Cats, and I didn't realize this, but Nate Pearson was down with an injury, and I think it was a groin injury. This is a quote from Gil Kim, who's the player development director for the Toronto Blue Jays in AA. This is a quote from Gil Kim. Nate was experiencing groin soreness, but he is progressing well. He's on a throwing he is on a throwing progression and is on track to miss minimal time in New Hampshire. So it's nothing serious for Nate Pearson. Maybe a start, maybe 2 starts, but other than that, he should be back in time, no problem. Good to hear about Nate Pearson. Now some very, very positive news for Jays fans. First things first, our young-looking pitcher, very young-looking pitcher, 18-year-old Eric Perdino pitched his first game. It was more or less an injury he had down there in the Gulf Coast League for the Blue Jays. 18-year-old, still very young. Had his first outing there today. 4 innings, 1 hit, no runs. He walked 3, but he struck out 5, didn't give up any runs. Great job by Eric Perdino. And, oh, a sight for sore eyes for Blue Jay fans. Ryan Baracki down there with, actually, Eric Perdino in that same ball game. He pitched in his first game games since being injured and in spring training. We all thought it was just going to be a start or two, and it turned into months. So it was great to see Ryan Borucki back. He went 3 innings, didn't give up a hit, didn't give up a run, didn't walk a batter, and struck out 6. Great job for Ryan Borucki. The road to recovery for the young man, he is on his way, and he'll probably get, I'm going to say, at least 3 more starts down there in the minor leagues. That's my expectation for Ryan Borucki, because he hasn't pitched all year long. Now, maybe even 4 or 5 starts. I don't know, depending on how things go. But a great job in his first game in the Gulf Coast League for the Blue Jays. And for Jays fans, we talked about it already. Edwin Jackson going on the IL. It might have been the sign that Borucki's coming back, and he goes on the IL. Borucki started his rehab. Here we go. We might have to see no Edwin Jackson anymore, people. That might be a really good thing for Jays fans. All right, so you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. You guys enjoyed the video, and you guys enjoyed the series, and you enjoyed seeing all the young guys kind of get the jobs done this series. Hit that like button. I do appreciate that, guys. Hit that subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below your thoughts on the game, your thoughts on the video, your thoughts on Biggio, Vladdy lately, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., Danny Jansen's good ball game today. What were your opinions on Trent Thornton in the ball game today? And also, guys like Ryan Borucki and Eric Perdino that I mentioned today, and Nate Pearson. Guys, go nuts in the comments below. I want to hear your guys' opinions on all of these guys. And look, I know the wins and losses total hasn't been great lately. 3-7 in the last 10, but it feels like we're watching better baseball. I think you guys can agree with that. And I'm so happy we're not losing 6-0 and 8-0 and all that stupid stuff again, because it was rough to watch. You watch the first inning, first couple innings, you're already down 4-0. You're like, well, there goes the TV off. Thank you very much. And that's it. But over the last, few series against Boston and the Yankees, the Jays have been right in these games. And against those two teams, it is beautiful to see. Because if the Jays want to get back to that division title, and they want to get to the World Series, and they want that, you have to go through those two teams. And to see a team that's very young, still growing, and doing what they did in the last series against the Red Sox and this series against the Yankees, even though the win-loss total wasn't the greatest, it's still very appetizing, and it's still very nice to see. I'm going to hear your guys' thoughts on everything that I just mentioned. And check out my main man, Mo Buckets, on Twitter, Blue Jays Wave on Instagram. The plan might actually be to be on his podcast there tomorrow night. It's going to be a lot of fun talking about the Blue Jays, minor leaguers, Stroman, all that great stuff. Guys, go check out the Instagram page, Blue Jays Wave on Instagram. Can't wait to have a discussion with him about this team and the future of this team and all that stuff. It's going to be tons of fun. All right, so guys, check him out. Like I said, one more time, Blue Jays Wave on Instagram. All right, and I will talk to you. Sorry, Twitter's down below, guys. Follow up, send me a DM, do all that great stuff. And I will talk to you guys Raptors edition tomorrow evening. It's the early evening, probably about 5 or 6, I'll say. I'll get it done. All right, as the Raptors, we'll be talking about the season review, the off-season preview for our Toronto Raptors, and it is going to be exciting. We're going to talk Kawhi Leonard. We're going to talk about Danny Green. We're going to talk about Marc Gasol actually picking up his player option, as we all assumed would happen, but I got it official right before I recorded the video, so we'll talk about that as well. We'll talk about the future of Kyle Lowry, Serge Ibaka, what this team should do in the offseason, and we will relive the season that just was. The best season in Raptors franchise history, the best season in my lifetime, and in probably a lot of your lifetimes. So it's going to be a lot of fun to talk there tomorrow about all that crazy stuff. And as for the Blue Jays, they have the off day tomorrow, like we said, and they take on the Kansas City Royals on Friday night at Rogers Center. As of right now, it's Danny Duffy on the mound for the Kansas City Royals, and they have no starter for the Blue Jays. That could be Edwin Jackson's spot. So will it be a bullpen day? Will we see a guy like Sean Reid-Foley maybe get into the mix there? I don't know. That might not actually be a bad idea. We're going to have to wait and see what all plays out, though. All right, so thank you guys so much for listening and watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Talk to you guys then.